Second point, you might not know what redundancy is in planning, but it seems like you know what redundancy is in argumentation. Every single time that Phil has brought up the point of non-human animals suffering before the fall of man, I'm going to underline that. I'm going to quote it again. I'm going to put it in bold. Before the fall of man. The answer has been, there are consequences to human creatures who rebel against God. Fine. But before that occurred, before any human being had even set foot on the planet, there were billions of years of animals suffering. This cannot be explained with reference to some mysterious consequence for some rebellious mythical human beings who apparently existed in some garden, or perhaps are a mythological representation of the first proper Homo sapiens who ever walked the planet. Billions of years before they even set foot on the planet, there was already suffering. You cannot say that that suffering is a result of a consequence of human sin. That is what has been said every single time we put this question up, but we still have not had an answer to why animals, again, underline, bold, before the original sin of human beings was suffering and dying in their brutal manners. Thirdly, earlier, and this was a while ago, Cliff said to me that I was being intellectually dishonest. He said that I was acting intellectually dishonestly, or that he sort of didn't believe what I was saying, or something like that. I may be wrong. I may be incorrect. What I'm saying may be entirely stupid, but I cannot have it said that I'm not arguing honestly here. I'm telling you what I believe, and I'm telling you what I don't know. You said, and I will quote you as best I can. I will quote you as best I can. You said that claiming to have the answer to the biggest questions of the universe is the height of intellectual arrogance. You then told me that me saying I don't know the answer to the most fundamental, foundational question of human existence is an impossible option. And that when you didn't know an answer to a question, that was called basic humility. Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. You don't know. I don't know. There are many things that we do not know. It is not me who claims to have the ultimate answer to these questions. It is you and your worldview. I cannot have it said that agnosticism is not a response, or that I'm somehow evading the questions. Tell me that I'm wrong, fine. Tell me that I'm stupid, fine. Tell me that I'm not understanding your question. Maybe I'm answering the wrong question because I've misheard you. But to say that I'm intentionally evading your question because of some kind of fault in my worldview is an attack on my character that I just can't let stand, because I strive and pride myself on my ability to honestly engage with the questions that people are answering, and honestly tell them that I don't know when I don't know. But I really, really want to hear an answer to this question of why non-human animals were suffering. One more time, I'll underline it. Before any human being performed any kind of rebellious action that could have consequences on the planet.
I said so clearly. I don't do this.
I want to give you a chance to respond, Cliff, but that was my hope, was that rather than going into another question, we go into the Q&A. I can give you a really quick chance to respond, Cliff, since the question was nonetheless asked. I do want to see, Phil, if you had any last points you wanted to make. I think that you earlier wanted to say something. I'm not sure you got to.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say, Mo-Tzu was a Chinese philosopher who lived around 400 BC, and he defended a concept of universal love. So this idea that the moral concern we have for others comes from Christianity, it is just false. It is wrong.
All right, so Stuart and I got to take a course in communication because we have miscommunicated. I'm sorry for that. Alex, my whole point has been there were created beings before Adam and Eve who rebelled against God. In the first couple of verses of Genesis, you realize there was chaos and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Something was wrong before the creation of Adam and Eve. All right? So it's not an issue of it all came apart because of Adam and Eve. I think it all came apart long before Adam and Eve, because created beings like Lucifer, like the demons, rebelled against God. Second point, Alex, I am not making a statement about your character. I am making a statement instead that it is impossible to be agnostic about the question of human value, human meaning, morality, and life after death, because you have to live life. Because you have to live life, you have no choice. But to answer the question, the person I'm talking to, do they have value or not? Do I have value or not? You can't evade that. You have to answer that. Because how you treat that person is based on whether you view them as being valuable or not valuable. You have no choice but to figure out what's the meaning of my life. Because you have to set an agenda, a schedule for today, tomorrow, next week. And those decisions that you make about your schedule show your priorities, show your ambition in life. Thirdly, you have no choice, Alex. This is not a question of me attacking your character. It's a simple statement, Alex. You have to live life. And the way you live your life ethically shows what you believe. I'm sorry, your actions are based on thought. They're based on a worldview. That's all I'm saying, Alex. And I'm sorry, Alex, it's not an attack on your character. You have to go to funerals. And you have to decide, is there life after death or not? You cannot just say, I'm agnostic, because the dead body is there. The question is, are you going to see that person or not? So that's all I meant, Alex. This is no attack on your character. Alex, I love you. I like you. You're a great guy. I love talking with you. But agnosticism is impossible when it comes to those fundamental 4 issues I've pointed out to you, because you have to live life. That's all I meant.
I like you too, for what it's worth. And the only quarrel I had in terms of a character attack was saying that I was intentionally evading the question. I don't believe that that's what I was doing. Maybe I was unintentionally evading the question. Maybe I didn't understand what you were asking me. But to say that I was intentionally evading a question runs counter to the very essence of my, for want of a better word, ministry online.
I apologize for that, Alex. The reason I was so put off by you is because we've had a lot of thoughtful conversation. And when you so glibly dismissed my question of you, I'm beginning to wonder, what on earth is he doing here? Because you're a very thoughtful guy. You're a brilliant guy. No question about it, in my mind. But when I asked you that hard question and you just glibly answered it in a few sentences and then moved on, I'm thinking, good gracious, what's going on here?
And you said earlier that you didn't know yourself psychologically. And I'm not saying that in a cheeky kind of way, but I think a lot of the psychological leanings connected to the experience, like Cliff keeps talking about, is really important here.
This looks like a
I'm
great
happy
opportunity
to I think we've got Q&A, don't we now?
You betcha. We have many, many questions, folks, so I'm going to try to move as fast as possible. We're looking for sincere questions. I doubt we're going to be able to fit many more in. Just to be really quick, everybody, you okay on time? How much time do you have left as I try to move through as fast as possible?
I think I was the only one that seemed to have a constraint, but I think I'm good. I could go for as long as everyone else can, probably.
How long do we usually go? I mean, we can't go too long, but we could definitely do it.
45 minutes is what we agreed on for the format, but
That's certainly fine by me.
That's good.
Okay, we're gonna move fast. Base Autist, thanks very much, says, Alex, I'm a longtime fan. I became a Christian, but I still love your work and your honesty. I'm curious, though, why it seems you've left Islam alone. Is this for personal reasons or safety? Much love and God bless.
Yeah, well, of course, it is a much less safe thing to do. That's one of the benefits of Christianity, by the way. But I do think that I simply know less about it. Of course, I don't believe Islam is true, and I believe it has all kinds of problems and moral objections that I'm sure that if I made my moral objections to Islam plain, Cliff and Stuart would not want to object to my meta-ethics, but instead just be happy that I was doing it. But I just know less about it. I feel like I'm pretty well versed in at least the New Testament at this point, and it's mostly a consequence of that. But of course, you do have to be much more careful as well, because I've never had to fear for my safety when debating a Christian like today.
You got it. And folks, I want to remind you, we're going to try to keep it to questions that are serious. And if you have a fun super chat, we appreciate it, but we're going to try to be very picky. Truduck says, what translation of the Bible do you recommend, Cliff and Stuart? I currently use the NIV translation as it's my favorite.
Nearly infallible version.
Yeah, I would stay away from the TNIV, the third wave feminist interpretations.